Hello, it is Sunday at about 12:20. I'm uploading last night's vlog. For some reason it seems to have called itself this. I was obviously pressing one of the buttons as I was carrying the laptop down the stairs. Look, I started a new puzzle last night. Oh, this one's a dream compared to that beastly tiger one. I tell you, very pleasant. I was enjoying that. I'm going to put it away anyway, make some space, as is my routine. As is also my routine. I've made a pot of coffee to enjoy while I'm finishing all the vloggy stuff off. And look, I'm on top of the washing up for a change. Cool. Izzy is having a very leisurely midday bath. She's just randomly gone in. She's had a bit of news from college about her timetable. I think this might be the more or less permanent one though, that they did say it could be subject to further changes. Their split groups are now being merged into one, so I think there's going to be about 20 in her class, maybe 25, so she's actually quite apprehensive about that. That's the most mixed she's been since the start of the pandemic, and they're not socially distanced inside their own classroom setting. So she is worried about that actually. She's not very happy. But you know, it is what it is. It's that or don't go to college, so she's just gonna go and do it anyway. But she's going to be in 4 days from now on, I think. I don't know if they're working up to 5, but it's going to be 4, except this week Izzy has to go for bloods on one of the days, so she will still only be doing 3, but they're all early morning starts, and she's going to have to leave very early every morning, so I'm going to have to get her bedtime earlier again. She's a monster for staying up late, she really is. Anyway, I'm going to do this now. I wonder if I'd get any views if I just called it that. I'm at the racking my brains trying to decide what to call it phase now. This is the best I've come up with so far. Out of curiosity, I typed it into the search bar, and for the first time ever, I have finished, and I'm even more or less up to date with my most recent comments. Yeah, so that's good. I'm feeling pleased about that. It's, 1:30 now, and I'm going to practice down in Flute Cave for a bit. I didn't practice yesterday. I let it go a bit. I think I'm going to start practicing mostly when Izzy's at college, but I'm still waiting for her to get into that regular routine with that. I'm finding it hard to justify practicing even for 1 hour a day, because that's 7 hours a week on something that I can't actually, I don't know, well, I'm not gigging, so it's a lot of time invested that I could be doing something more productive really at the moment. But it feels really weird to reduce it down to even less than that. But I mean, in reality, quite often days go by and I can't fit it in anyway. But anyway, I'm going to go do an hour of just scales and arpeggios and stuff because it makes me feel good. I've just been having a little think about how I can explain what I've just said a bit better about the flute playing thing. Like, you know how when people go into space, they need to do lots of exercises to keep up their muscle condition so that they're able to walk on Earth at normal gravity, right? With the flute, you have to have certain muscles just so, like in your mouth and, I don't know, probably even your abdomen, I don't know, I'm not sure. Fingers, definitely. And if you don't practice for a long while, you lose all that muscle tone. I don't quite have the vocabulary to explain this, but in the same way as the astronauts lose the ability to walk on Earth if they don't do exercises in space, flute players lose the ability to play the flute physically from lack of practice. So you see, just because you intellectually know how to play an instrument because you've done it for years doesn't mean that you could take a break for a year and then just go do a gig. You'll find you can't play it. It'll be like the astronaut that's been floating around space and not been on his treadmill all harnessed down, you know, they'll be like, their legs will be flopping everywhere. Well, likewise, I wouldn't be able to coordinate my finger movements and I wouldn't be able to form a good embouchure. And even with just practicing how much I'm practicing now, I'm already feel like I'm losing it, you know, compared to what I would normally do in a week. So yeah, I find it hard to justify practicing every day when I could be doing other things to contribute to our household in other ways. But having played the flute for decades, I don't want to be able to get to a point where I just pick up my flute and it's a horrible woofly windy noise coming out. So if you're learning the flute and your teacher's saying, oh, do it like this, and then they demonstrate and this beautiful tone comes out, and then you try and do the same thing and it sounds woofly and windy by comparison, do not be disheartened. Your teacher sounds like that because he or she has got that muscle definition from being in practice, and if they didn't play it for years and then picked it up, it wouldn't matter that they knew how to do it, they still wouldn't be able to produce that sound. So Here we are. Right, I'm going to practice. The higher up the instrument in pitch you go, the more air you need. So to have a consistent tone for every note in the instrument, you have to blow increasingly more air and adapt your embouchure for every single note that you play. It's really complicated doing woodwind, you know, compared to these strummy and bowy and plucky things. Yes, you've got a whole new dimension to consider. So what I like to do when I do my scales is I do like to do them really slowly and listen to the tone of every single note, comparing it to the tone of all the other notes in sequence as I go up, and trying to keep a consistent tone. But to do so, I have to vary the amount of air that I'm pushing through and the aperture that is my mouth. So yeah, you can't just blow it the same all the way through for every note. It just won't work out like that. Oh no. And it's not just your mouth that's adapting, it's actually the muscles down here as well that are supporting the notes. I find that I need to tighten these more as the pitch gets higher as well. That's a top C, that makes my ear ring, that one. So I try not to play it too often. But yeah, that's a lot of air compared to the low C, which is this. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off and just get on with it, because I will bore you all senseless, probably. I have ascended from Flute Cave, feeling distinctly fatigued in the fingers and all round the chops, which is what I generally feel like after an hour of practice. I actually did more than an hour. I did. How much did I do? Ooh, I did about an hour and 10 minutes. So it wasn't that much more than an hour. I'm hungry now. I really fancy scrambled eggs on toast. So I'm going to make scrambled eggs on toast for me and Izzy and do a bit of salad with it. A little bit of black pepper going in. And some salt. And whisk. I love this whisk. Nope. Not today. Sometimes it does. Ah! That's not supposed to happen. What's going on there? That's just weird. Why is that doing that? Oh, it works. There's Izzy's. We're going to sit and eat together now, aren't we, babes? And there's mine. Not the best presentation in the world, but I can testify it's very delicious, because as you can see, I've already been biting away at it whilst laying it out on the plate. It's about 4:10 now. Those scrambled eggs were quite good, actually. Haven't had that for ages. Even Izzy ate the whole plate full. We were sitting, blobbing out, watching a bit of telly. I've persuaded Izzy to come for a walk now, only to the park. I'll get her an ice cream. It's like a little incentive. Hopefully it's still open. If not, there is a corner shop nearby that sells ice cream. So let's go. I've got an ice cream Bueno swirl. Tastes like Kinder Bueno, very good. This is taking lots of photos of pigeons. She's going through a bit of a pigeon phase.
Okay, I think I've got everything that I need.
Having a bit of a wash. Oh, that's so cute. Look what they're doing.
You know it's very dirty water.
It is filthy. Maybe they like the filth. Maybe the filth has come off them.
That was cute. You've got feathers for days.
Oh. How is it?
It's very nice.
And what do you have?
Mint chocolate chip. Because you can never go wrong with a bit of mint.
We're going for a little post ice cream walk. We're back from the park. You haven't seen Isabel much today, so I've just randomly put the camera on her. Have you got
I'm here.
anything interesting to say? Oh, she's on the spot.
Oh no, countdown, stressful. I watched Sherlock today.
Oh. Hello, we're back from the park. As you can see, it's 10 to 6 in the evening. I'm going to make a cup of tea and I'm going to sit down and do some editing for a bit. And Isabel, wow, I think she's flopped. She's got a slightly sore throat today, haven't you, babes?
Yeah.
Slightly. I said don't sing if you've got a sore throat.
I already did because I couldn't help it.
Oh, Isabel, we have to get you a gag.
No.
It's about 20 past 7 now. I've been all cosy upstairs in my bed editing with my fluffy jumper on and pyjama bottoms. I forgot to say we should have been in Cardiff today if it were not for the lockdown. The lockdown isn't much of a lockdown, but it is restricting our movement out of our area. So we can't go into Cardiff, for instance. So we couldn't go to that today because extracurricular ones don't count, apparently. College does, but that one didn't. So that's why we were home today. And in other news, I forgot to preheat the oven. I took these tuna steaks out to defrost and they're mostly defrosted and I was going to do them in the oven. So I'm going to fry them in the frying pan, boil up some pasta and some green veg and do like a kind of tuna pasta kind of thing with real tuna. It'll be nice anyway. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please give it a like. It really helps the channel to grow. I so appreciate it. If you're new here and you'd like to see what else we get up to in the coming years, feel free to hit the subscribe button and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!